sleeping, I guess.
I'm surprised you slept at all with everything going on.
I knew this moment was coming. This feels like I'm forgetting something.
You're not forgetting anything.
It'd been days since you'd seen clearly. Your hazy Prozac smiles. Ones that didn't quite match your eyes. They were convincing. Until they weren't. The wind's fingers fiddled with your hair as you stood on the building's edge, your toes just barely still on the rooftop. This is it. Come on, this is it. Your mind racing through every thought imaginable, thinking of your lonely bed and those who'd been in it, thinking of your family, the ones who'd passed before you. It was almost ironic. You'd been an Icarus type. You flew too close to the sun. Your life had been going so well. Until you were assaulted. That night could have been so amazing. Yet someone felt like they had the rights to your body. And in doing so, left you high and dry. At least the legal system won't have to deal with me. At least Alice can be happy. Your late-night panic attacks had stressed her out beyond belief, and so you figured, kill two birds with one stone. No pun intended. Count of 3. It was so easy. Just force yourself forward and let yourself fall. It takes 2 seconds. The 2 seconds that will determine the rest of your life. Or afterlife. 1. Your mind racing through scenarios of when you hit the ground. If you die on impact, it won't be an issue. I mean, you'd found the tallest building you could. Slightly taller than the UA statue, so there was no possibility of surviving the fall. But there's always a possibility. The building. So tall that you'd be falling for a good 20 seconds. 2. Gravity was such a weird concept. One of the most dangerous things that you can't, under any circumstances, be immune to or protect yourself from. Gravity was always pulling you down. But life did the same, so there wasn't much of a difference. 3. You allow yourself to breathe, filling your lungs with the cold, brisk air, savoring whatever last bit of life you had in you. The moonlight somehow shining only on you. And as you stand, everyone is going about their night. People going home and heading to night shifts at their jobs. As a suicide note rests between your fingers, you watch the crowds of people pass by. The letter reads, "To whom it may concern, I, a lonely civilian, will die today. My suicide may finally get to you that this society turns away slaves and schizophrenics because they don't want to deal with them. Their bodies line the streets, the corridors of psych wards lined with their tears because they fit into society's definition of crazy. This so-called society is so corrupt that my rape was overlooked. I've become a self-mediator, a drunk, if you will. For the past 8 months, I've been the closest to following through with this that I've ever been. But nobody had the balls to look hard enough to get justice for me, or any other victim I've met. Maybe my suicide will cue this legal system fixing itself. It's corrupt, it's broken, and I won't stay and watch it. So let's see how far your charade of a symbol of peace gets you when your civilians are dropping like flies. Your assault had put you here. The man who'd violated you had inadvertently placed you on the skyscraper's edge, the legal system helping him lift you. They all carried you to this point, and nothing was going to stop you from following through with it. Unless they'd catch you going down. But that was unlikely. Jump! Falling. 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 Your body floats through the air, almost weightless. Your back facing the ground, arms grasping at the air as if it were a lifeline. It was one of the most peaceful things you could have asked for. As you fell, you counted the floors. 3, 4, 5. Your mind is blank. The numbers are the only thing bouncing around in your head. Body is void of emotions and limp as it falls. The air encasing you and all of your depressive thoughts. 10, 11, 12. But everyone has a purpose. Maybe yours was to be the wake-up call for society's mistakes. Maybe your purpose was to create a purpose for those who didn't have one. And maybe you didn't have a problem with that. 13, 14, 15, 16. Your body hesitates from falling. And in your confusion, one thought comes to mind. Doesn't this building have 50 stories? But it wasn't the ground catching you, no. It was someone who'd seen you falling. His arms cradled you as you jolt to the right. Attempt number 1. Failed. Whoa, careful there. His voice was almost husky, but smooth in its own way. Did you slip? No. A cold answer, void of energy or any emotion to begin with. Admittedly, it scared the boy. I jumped. Your eyes well with tears as you speak, describing the things that put you in that position to begin with. I was raped, and the legal system did fuck all! Almost a scream for help, but you weren't sure who to. I'm not gonna watch this society fall apart! I won't be here to watch this fall apart! He sighs. Okay, kid. I know you've heard this all before, but I'm going to fucking say it again. His feet hit the ground, but he doesn't put you down entirely, just your lower half. After placing your feet on the ground, he pulls you into a tight hug before speaking again. Suicide isn't the answer. And I know that the legal system is convoluted, but fuck them. There's something that the world needs. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here to begin with. Tears form in your eyes as he speaks. His words are the only thing you could hear. Your body wrapping and snuggling towards the boy. The world doesn't need me, you mumble. And the heroes don't either. His response is a sigh and a tighter squeeze, cueing more hysterical crying as you pipe up again. They're neglectful, and they don't care! Your hysterical face turns to one of an emotionless, dead mind. I'm not going to watch these idealistic symbols of peace save people around me when they couldn't even do that much in my case. It sucks, he trails. It does. But there's nothing I or you can do about it. That's just the way it is. That's the problem. Nobody has the balls to speak up when it comes to their disregarded ignorance. Your suicide attempt had revolved around the toxicity of modern-day society, not necessarily your own depressions, though those were a factor. Because they're idols, right? They're negligent in a way they can get away with, because that's how society is nowadays. That's not what this is about. I can see it in your eyes. His sympathetic glance was barely sporting any emotions. I guess I was just... You search for words, but can't seem to find the right ones. Guilty, maybe? What do you mean by that? I was assaulted across the street from my apartment. I took an abnormal route home. And that's where he found me. Your eyes grow emotionless as you speak. So I figured, let him off the hook. Let Kanjo do what she needs to do and forget about me and Alice. Flawed logic, if you ask me. He stares intently. Like I said, the world needs you for something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here in the first place. He smiles slightly. It was warm, but soft. I guess you're right. You huff. Thanks for catching me. I'm gonna go home. How do I know you're not gonna go to another building and jump again? It was a fair question. I mean, the man had just caught you from attempting to end your own life. He had the right to ask such a question. I'm not. I promise. You lift your fingers and cross them, clicking them upward before smiling again. He smiles back. Keep safe. Go to therapy. The legal system may be convoluted, but there are ways around it. I promise you. I'll remember that. Thank you. You drag for a name. He stops, hesitating to change the word. Keigo. Keigo. Thank you. You smile as another tear slips past your eyes. One not of sadness, nor happiness. Just a tear. Not a problem, was his response before you took your leave, making your way back to yours and Alice's apartment. Maybe he's right. Maybe I do have a reason to be here.
We can't be alone together, can we?
Apparently not.
What does that mean? We're supposed to be friends.
We aren't friends, are we? Not really. We avoid each other. We smile politely. Two people who pretend to be friends because it would be inconvenient not to.
Well, maybe we should stop pretending.
Maybe we should.
This fanfiction was written by Koshi Writes over on Wattpad. You can find a link to the fanfiction in the description. Thank you so much for allowing me to read this fanfiction on the channel. If you have a fanfiction that you've written or a suggestion for a fanfiction you'd like for me to read, feel free to drop a link or a request including a writing prompt down in the comments below, or you can DM me through any of the social media links on the screen. Because August is my birthday month, and I recently just hit 1 year of reading fanfictions on this channel, I wanted to take the entire month of August to focus on you guys as subscribers, as viewers, as people who have supported me for over a year now. I'm really bad at these talks, I'm sorry. I just wanted to take the time to say that I really appreciate you guys, and you guys for sticking around and just sending so much love and support. Just seeing you guys' comments and ideas that you guys have, it reminds me so much of why I love doing this. So yeah, I want to showcase you guys' artwork, you guys' fan fiction, your anything that you might have to share on this channel, and give you guys a platform to be able to do that. So send any kind of fan fictions you've written that you'd like to see. I'd love to read it and showcase some amazing writing that you guys have done. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, bye!